The morning sun barely touched the rooftops of Knapford Station when Thomas puffed into view, his blue paint gleaming despite the early hour. Steam curled from his funnel in cheerful spirals, and his wheels clicked rhythmically against the rails with the confidence of an engine who loved his work. "Right on time, Thomas," called the station master, checking his pocket watch. "Your special passengers are waiting on platform 3. Thomas rolled carefully alongside the platform where a cluster of children stood with their teacher, Mrs. Peterson. Their faces shone with excitement, some clutching permission slips, others bouncing on their toes. Thomas had pulled passenger coaches hundreds of times, but there was something particularly wonderful about children on their first train ride. "Good morning, everyone," Thomas whistled warmly. "I'm Thomas, and I'll be taking you through Misty Valley today." "He really talks," whispered a girl with braided hair, her eyes wide. "Of course I do," Thomas chuckled, his boiler rumbling pleasantly. "How else would I tell you about all the interesting things we'll see?" The children scrambled aboard the coaches, their chatter filling the air like birdsong. Thomas waited patiently while Mrs. Peterson counted heads twice, then gave the signal. With a cheerful toot, Thomas began to move, pulling away from the station as the children pressed their faces to the windows. The countryside unfolded in shades of green and gold. Thomas pointed out landmarks as they traveled: the old mill with its creaking water wheel, the stone bridge where sheep often gathered, the orchard heavy with autumn apples. The children called out questions faster than he could answer them. "How fast can you go?" "Do you ever get tired?" "What's your favorite part of the railway?" A boy with dark curly hair leaned out slightly, though Mrs. Peterson gently pulled him back. "I'm Marcus," he announced. "I've read 17 books about trains. Did you know the first steam locomotive was built in 1804? "I did know that," Thomas replied, amused. "Though I'm considerably newer than that, I'm happy to say." As they approached Misty Valley, the landscape changed. Gentle hills gave way to steeper slopes, and wisps of fog began to drift across the tracks like ghostly fingers. The sunlight dimmed, filtered through the thickening mist that clung to the valley floor. "It's so mysterious," breathed a girl named Lucy, her nose nearly touching the window glass. "Like we're entering another world." Thomas reduced his speed, his lamp cutting through the swirling fog. The mist muffled sounds, making even his own wheels seem distant and dreamlike. He knew these tracks perfectly, had traveled them countless times, but the fog always made the valley feel different, full of secrets. Then he heard it. A whistle, distant and echoing, unlike any engine whistle Thomas recognized. It wasn't the sharp blast of Gordon or the friendly toot of Percy. This whistle had an unusual melody, almost like a question hanging in the fog. The children fell silent, listening. "What was that?" Marcus asked, his voice smaller than before. "Another train," suggested Lucy, though she sounded uncertain. Thomas slowed further, his wheels barely turning. The whistle came again, clearer this time, with a rhythm that seemed deliberate. Toot-toot-woo. It echoed off the valley walls, making it impossible to pinpoint the direction. "I've never heard an engine whistle quite like that," Thomas admitted. "And I know every engine on this railway." "Maybe it's a new engine," offered a small boy from the back coach. "Or maybe," Lucy said, her voice taking on an edge of excitement, "it's someone who needs help." "Or it could be a signal," Marcus added, sitting up straighter. "Railway whistles used to have different meanings. Patterns meant different things." Thomas considered this. The whistle had definitely followed a pattern, and it came from somewhere in the fog ahead, where the tracks curved through the deepest part of the valley. "Well," Thomas said, making up his mind, "there's only one way to find out. Hold on, everyone. We're going to investigate." He gave an answering whistle, 3 short toots followed by a longer one. Choo-choo-choo-choo-oh. If someone needed help, they should know another engine was near. If it was a friendly greeting, well, Thomas wasn't one to ignore a potential new friend. The fog swirled thicker as they moved forward, and Thomas turned on his lamp to full brightness. The children pressed against the windows, their earlier nervousness transformed into curiosity. "Look," Lucy pointed. "The fog is moving strangely there, like something passed through it." She was right. About 50 yards ahead, the mist churned in a way that suggested movement, though Thomas couldn't see what had caused it. The mysterious whistle sounded again, closer now, and this time Thomas heard something else beneath it. A rhythmic clanking, metal on metal, that didn't match any engine sound he knew. "This is the best first train ride ever," Marcus whispered, and several children murmured agreement. Mrs. Peterson looked less certain, but she trusted Thomas. Everyone on Soder did. The tracks ahead disappeared into a particularly dense bank of fog, and Thomas knew that just beyond it, the line split. One route leading to the coastal villages, another curving toward the old quarry that hadn't been used in years. The whistle came once more, and this time Thomas was certain. It was coming from the direction of the abandoned quarry line.